Hello, boys and girls. We are still working on our project, so I'm going to start talking to you about how to code your fish. So on your fish, you want to start out over here, and I'm going to, I'm going to say go to this position, and instead of coming out random wherever, I want it to pick a random position just over here. So I'm going to say go to an XY position, and then I'm going to come over here under my operators, and I'm going to say pick a random number, and the top is 180, the bottom is a negative 180. So I'm going to just do a little bit less than that so it doesn't look like it's off the stage at all. So I did 70 to a negative 170. So now when I click the flag, it will show up anywhere within that spot. So now we talked about clones in an earlier project. So we are going to make some clones because we're going to have this fish come do lots of things. So I'm going to come over here to my controls, and I'm going to add a forever loop. And now I'm going to go down here, and I'm going to say create a clone of myself. So I've created a clone of myself, and now I want it to switch costumes. So every time it makes a clone, I want a different fish, so that way it looks a little bit more fun. And I don't want that happening all the time. So now I'm just going to have that happen every, say, 3 seconds. Okay, so now we have, this is our code. But do you notice I said create a clone, but I didn't tell it what to do when it started as a clone. So I'm going to say start as a clone. And once I do this, I want my original one to hide. I want it to not even look like it's there. So I want it to hide. And then I want my clone, when it starts as a clone, to show. And with my clone, I want it to go to this same thing. So I'm going to go back over here to my go to, and I'm going to bring in that same code. I'm going to go to my operators. I'm going to say pick a random number between, so every time it'll show up in a little bit different space to make the game a little bit more fun. Okay, so now as I do this, we see that it looks like that. Oh, I said next backdrop, so we need to debug that and make sure that we say next costume. So that's a common mistake that we sometimes make. We use backdrops instead of costumes. So let's just fix that debug really fast. And now you see all of these clones over here, right? Well, they're not going anywhere yet, so we have to fix that. So now I'm going to say when I'm going to show up, I'm going to go here, and I'm going to add in another forever loop. So I'm going to say forever, and I'm going to say move negative 10. Remember, if anytime you want to move left, it is a negative number. So I'm going to say move a negative 10. So that means that now goes there, and in 3 seconds, so this one, they're still stuck here. So I'm going to add a few conditionals, if statements. If something happens, then something else. So I'm going to say if touching, so if touching the shark, I want it to hide. Okay, and I'm going to have that same code. So if touching the shark, it's going to hide. And I'm going to do this same code again. So I can just do a right click on it, and I'm going to say duplicate. I can bring it down here and put it in. So now I'm going to say if, but instead of shark, I'm now going to say edge, hide. So now if it touches the shark, it hides. Okay, and now if it touches, it should, when it touches the edge, it hides. So it looks like it's no longer there. And I am on the wrong backdrop for some reason, so I'm just going to change my backdrop to be back over here. And let's just get rid of all these other backdrops. Okay, so now we've got it doing, but now we need to keep track of what it's doing. So I have already coded my fish. Well, I'm going to do a right click on this, and I'm going to say duplicate. So now instead of fish, though, I'm going to get pieces of garbage. So you're going to get it. So I'm just going to come over here, and we're going to get some different costumes. And we did this in our last project. So I'm going to pick, going to say a bell. And now once I've got that, I can just get rid of the fish. So I'm going to come over here, choose a costume, and I'm going to pick several pieces of things that you may not see in the garbage. So I know there's a food truck. That might be kind of funny. So you know the shark definitely shouldn't eat that. And then I'm going to come over here and choose like one more. And let's just do the apple again. Okay, so now I have this. So now you see I have two different things coming. And they're going to different locations, and they're going at different times. So do I want to make sure your shark is going to eat the fish and not the other things. Okay, and in the next video, I'll show you how to keep track of what they are eating.